Hi, I'm PJ. I am the GM for Edge of Legend and Nat 20 Productions, and this is what you missed on episode 64, the season 1 finale of Edge of Legend. It is time for the final confrontation to save the world from total war with Korokos. As the armies meet up at the front line, the heroes find a safe place to launch with their magic flying bats and griffins to the flying castle in the sky. They go to a place where it all began 64 episodes ago, a little quarry town on a cliff face overlooking the ocean, Cobbledale. The 6 gold coins is still standing. The first Jeremy they ever met is saluting them in respect. The divots dove and cracked into the city from the siege spears thrown on that fateful day are being repaired, but reminding the heroes of how they met each other. And there with a bag of fresh buns are the Bun Boys themselves, promising the entire satchel if the heroes return alive. With their past all around them and their fight for their future straight ahead of them, they take off on their flying mounts. The Red Rock Riders do what they can to protect them until they get close enough, and with their escort done, they open the skies with flying wormkins, and on their mighty griffins, they leave the heroes for their bloody dogfight. The heroes land on a surprisingly well-crafted landing platform and an impressive castle. Though chaos already tears through this castle as goblins are fleeing for their lives under the supervision of the hobgoblins. Ichi, speaking goblin herself, overhears that they've been ordered to evacuate by Korokos. Rufa sees a familiar, shadowy hobgoblin salute them and vanish into the darkness, like a toad vanishes in a ripple of water. Moving deeper into the castle, its immaculate architecture is being dismantled in the chaos of these fleeing goblins. Of these heroes, a few spot orcs leaving in terror and panic as well, their bodies half altered into green dragon scales with misshapen claws. Alona begins to think on this for a moment and realizes something. From the battle at Megalmal's boat against Leontari, who used an acid green breath to Malthenrax, the abominable steed of Korokos that breathes a terrifying green acid breath himself. Korokos has been granted access to dragon DNA, specifically a green dragon. This raises more questions as what bestial or divine green dragons would let themselves be harvested in this way? And how was this source or a necromancer to affect any dead dragons before floating around in the castle with this war without ever having been seen or known about in all of their travels and run-ins with the 5 generals under Korokos? Shionibus is granted invisibility from a scroll from Rufa and begins looking for Korokos within this chaotic castle. Rounding a corner, she overhears 2 voices talking. One is certainly Korokos, while the other is unknown. She peers around the corner to see Korokos out of his armor and the mutations of Sun Wukong freshly healed and removed, and towering above him is the Green King themselves. Standing over 10 feet in a suit of dark emerald green armor, with gnarled golden crown coming from his helmet, and a long dark cape. Though its voice is sinister and loud, there seems to be no form from within this armor of the Green King. The Green King stands with a green portal ebbing behind him. He scolds Korokos for their folly in handling the war, mentioning fear of one chosen and how they can ruin everything that they have worked for. And something about Valmagas Day, an end-of-world prophecy, all of which Korokos is smugly indifferent to. Korokos says he is more excited at dying in this wonderful battle, and seeing that his general cannot be scolded any longer, the Green King vanishes, his armor dropping to the ground, empty, and the green portal behind him vanishes. Alone, Korokos begins to pray to Gorn. Seeing her opportunity, Shionibus fires 2 arrows, and they both crit. Korokos reels and passively threatens her, then returns to his praying. Shionibus wisely turns and warns the other about what she just saw. Together, they all flee. Woodward and Rufa doing so in stealth so that if they get overtaken, they can be prepared. It seems that it's too late as Korokos is already on the chase. He smiles at Woodward, revealing 6 eyes on his head. And now, another set of arms have grown out his back. As Shionibus pulls from the group in front, Alona and Ichi are tackled through a stone wall and into a large garden in the castle area. There, Korokos pins Alona and puts his blade to her neck. He stands 2 heads, front and back, 12 total eyes, 4 total arms, the full avatar of Gorm himself. Rufa uses some fast words in psychology to trick Korokos to get his attention, letting Alona go. Everyone else comes surrounding Korokos, and with blades ready and the castle in chaos, the final fight begins. Rufa begins taking out trinkets from his bag of tricks and starts his strategies, while Woodward pops an alchemical potion and transforms into a powerful, mighty, feral dire bear. Shionibus works the angles with her arrows while Alona goes into the battlefield, healing and controlling, and of course, Ichi the Mighty swings for the fences. As they fight, the castle begins to crack and fall apart. The heroes become aware they are fighting in a dying battle, floating hundreds, if not thousands of feet in the sky, and fight the monster general Korokos as debris falls all around them. Suddenly, a horrible grinding sound roars as the entire floating castle tips sideways. Debris breaks through the wall and sends all the combatants tumbling. They fall until they land in a gross, sticky room covered in a mucus membrane. A door-like tunnel opens up, flooding the room chest high in a powerful acid. With Korokos on a large stone boulder, the heroes must get out of the acid and take the fight to him. Woodward, as a bear, is the first to stand toe-to-toe and starts trading blows with Korokos. Ichi, swimming her best through burning, caustic, acid torture, pulls herself up and joins the fight, joining Woodward 2 against 1 on Korokos. The other heroes are able to get to safety just in time as a horrible current of air drains all of the acid from the room and the heroes with it. Now in an odd-shaped room with stalagmites and stalactites, the heroes struggle to keep their balance. The room opens to reveal the war of the 5 nations happening below. This very room is the mouth of the dragon itself. Alona and Ichi lose their balance in the chaos and fall, grabbing a hold of the now known teeth of the dragon. Plummeting here will surely mean death. A light sparks to life deep within the mouth, and blasting forth from it is the same acid fire breath that has scarred the countryside and burned Bryax. This horrible fire forms a curtain to separate Korokos from the heroes, giving them a second to regroup and get ready. As they do, the lower palate crumbles and breaks under the power of this breath, and the combatants once again fall. With debris, they seem to fall very, very long time. Shionibus, who is done with falling, pops a talisman and is instantly teleported to the end of the fall. Looking around, they see a large room with craggy portals to view the battle down below. It is in this moment that she realizes that she's in the ribcage of the mighty corpse dragon castle. Meanwhile, high above, as the bodies fall, the heroes trade blows again and again with Korokos. Strike after strike, they never cease their battle, even as they plummet deeper and deeper into the belly of the beast. The heroes land in the ribcage of the dragon. Korokos is beaten, bleeding, and angry. As this castle is on a collision path to the land below, they all soon realize that this is it, the last stand. The final moments of the final battle, the few seconds that the past months have been hinging upon, has come down upon them all. To win and stave off a world in total war, or to die and fail and not know the horrors that would be left behind them. The last few seconds are fierce as Korokos seems to come back from death's door time after time. Rufa whips out with an attack, missing Korokos and causing him to retaliate in such a rage that breaks Rufa's whip. Striking deadly blows against Ichi and Woodward, Korokos begins to get his traction to kill the heroes for good. Then Alona stands up, and with a casting of her spiritual guardians, she throws a punishing punch at Korokos. He laughs as the blow lands on his jaw, and then gazes in horror as spiritual assailants, taking the form of these 6 brave heroes, strike at him with a divine fury. Rufa with style and fabulous ferocity. Shionibus with assured perfection. Woodward with the simple yet effective wrath of nature. Ichi with all the power and might of her people. And finally, as Koroko spits blood from his mouth, knees shaking, but still standing, he laughs.
What are you going to do? You cannot hurt me, pacifist. It is not in your nature,
he says with condescension. Then lastly, stepping from Alona is the spirit of herself, who delivers the mighty final blow. With this spirit guardian's assault and a holy fire that they enact, Korokos is dead. But I mean, it's never that easy, is it? Right? It can't be. As they have been fighting a bloody battle in a falling ship, they must now escape before it crashes, or they will all die. Working together, they quickly find the escape point. They get on their bats and leave just as the ship crashes into the earth. With a horrible sound, the ground is destroyed by the corpse dragon comet, just off the south coast of Adelphon. The castle bounces from the impact and lands into the water, and after a few short minutes, it sinks to the ocean below. With victory, the heroes fly back and into a world that will know peace. Meanwhile, the gates of a little city known as Doltonshire have been destroyed. And with that, we end Season 1 of Edge of Legend. Please be sure to tune in next week as we will be doing a post-mortem Q&A talking about all the awesome things that happened in Season 1, all of our one-shots, all the 64 episodes, and maybe a little of Season 2. And, of course, answering any questions that you, the legends in the chat, may have. We look forward to seeing you same Nat time, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard on Nat20 Productions Official, Twitch. And for all of us, to all of you, thank you for supporting and riding with us on this adventure. Couldn't have done it without you. Catch you then, legends.